Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you like any of the videos, you like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing, please hit the like button, subscribe button, share it out. Here we talk any sports, but it's been mainly football. We get some great coaches on here. Anybody that wants to come on and talk some ball, you guys got an offensive play you like, offense you just want to talk about, defense, a drill, anything unique you do, or if it's just as simple as ever and you want to come on here and present or talk, please reach out. I love talking ball. I love meeting people and building these relationships. I'm having fun. So please share this out. Let's get this growing. I appreciate all of you, and I hope you enjoy the channel. Welcome back to the show, everybody, on this Saturday morning. Today, I'm very honored to have the GOAT of the spread offense, Coach Ron Mckie. If you're on social media or YouTube, you'll know who he is. Reevaluate your life. You should already know who he is. So, Coach, anybody that lives under a rock, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, man. First, thank you so much for having me on and for making me blush this early Saturday morning. My name is Coach Ron Mckie. I am a football coach in South Carolina. I am now currently, when you're listening to this, I don't know if you're listening to this in the future or not, I'm at Batesburg-Leesville High School. It's a small 2A school near Columbia, South Carolina. And this is my 11th year coaching, 6th year as an offensive coordinator.
And then I just asked Coach, they just had a game last night and they won, so congratulations on that.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
We are fighting for our lives in Illinois to play, so I'm living vicariously through every coach out there. I'm like, just run the spread. That's all I'm saying. You do that and you'll be fine.
Hey, live through me, baby. We set a school record. We had our wide receiver, our Y, caught 8 passes, 5 of them for touchdowns, and had 284 yards. So it broke a 25-year record. So that's always nice.
So Mike Leach did his thing, you guys did your thing. So
yeah. And the crazy thing is, they played man the entire time. They played man, and we exploited they put probably their slowest guy on our fastest. So I was like, what would Leach do? And I called 6 like 10 times, and 8 of them went for scores.
6 and mesh. That's all you need right there.
That's it. I didn't even get the mesh. I was just like, you know what? We're just going to go deep. Screw it. You know, it's a good game when your quarterback's looking at you on the sideline and giving you the 6 call. And then when you call like a stick or a quick screen, which they're just like, damn it, I want to throw deep. Let's throw deep. I'm like, I like that mentality, man.
I love it. I love it. We'll get to that here in a minute, probably. First question I ask every single coach is, how did you get into coaching? Because I wanted to do this since I was 15, 16 years old. I knew right then. And everybody has a different way of how they did it. It's never been the same answer, and I love it. So how did you get into coaching? Because I'm losing my hair. That's why I have the hat on. I lose my hair. So
first off, that's why I'm wearing the hat too. I'm losing mine as well. I come from a long line of coaches. I really didn't want to be a coach, if I'm going to be completely honest. I come from a line of basketball coaches, though. My dad's a basketball coach. My grandfather was a basketball coach. My aunt was a basketball coach. My cousin is a D1 basketball coach. I played basketball. I like to tell everybody I was the best shooting middle linebacker. I was like 240 in high school, but I didn't get past or come in the lane because I would have gotten swatted. I have like a 2-inch vertical. I went to school to play football, hurt my arm, and then I went the academic route. Luckily, I had my father and mother who was telling me, get your grades as well. And I wanted to be a computer scientist and mathematician. So I don't even have an education degree. I have a dual degree in mathematics and computer science. And I dabbled here and there when I came back to my hometown. I volunteered and stuff like that. And then to the 2008 market crash happened and I couldn't get a job. And since I had a math degree, I was able to get a math teaching spot, and a coaching spot opened up, and that's how I got into it. I was on the defensive side for 3 years as a linebacker because I played linebacker in high school and college. And then when an opportunity came on offense, I jumped at it. So I was a running back coach for 2 years, and then I was able to parlay that into offensive coordinator. So that's how I got into it. Very not exciting.
You lost me at math. Me and math don't get along. Once you said math, I stopped. You don't hear that a lot, math teachers being football coaches. It's PE or social studies.
Yes. And the crazy thing is, I was math. I had a very difficult class. God, what was it? It was nonlinear algebra or something like that, where I just went in, I saw the material that I was supposed to do that day, and I was like, nope, I'm changing it. So I went PE, and I did PE. I was in school for 6 years. I'm one of those guys. I did math for 2 years. I went to PE, so none of my credits transferred. And one day I'm just sitting there in a tennis class hitting a birdie up in the air. And I go, oh my God, I am spending so much money at this school hitting a birdie up in the air. And there's someone else that is doing the same amount of money being spent, but they're trying to cure cancer. Something's wrong here. And I was like, I'm going back to math. And my wife at the time was like, okay, that's smart, because I've never told this story. I had a tennis class. And growing in college, I'm still this, but I was an extreme smartass, and we had to write a paper. And I did the paper on the French Open, and I basically turned it into the French were pansies because they had clay courts. So that was more defend style. It was very tongue in cheek. I was trying to do like Stephen Colbert, my poor man Stephen Colbert. And I didn't know it, but the tennis teacher was a French person, so she didn't take very kindly to that. And she called the department head, and I had a meeting. Like, she was accusing me of being racist and everything like that. And I was like, it's just satire. I just thought I was a comedian and just having fun, because I literally thought this assignment was very stupid. Because dude, we had some of our guys and girls in that class like staying up till 2-3 o'clock in the morning, like sweating over it and everything, because it had to be like 3 or 4 pages, and this is PE, so they're not used to writing that. And I'm just having fun with it, just going with it, Wikipedia, doing everything. And I was fussing, like yelling at them. We had a screaming match because I'm an asshole in the thing. And my wife was outside, who was my girlfriend at the time, and she heard everything. So when I came out, she was like, "You're going to math. You're gonna switch because you can't deal with this." And I was like, "Okay." And that was the second smartest decision. The first one was asking her to marry me. The second one was changing to math.
That's a lovely story. That just made my Saturday. Everything the rest of the day does not won't live up to
Because
that.
that's such a low point. Everything that's going to happen after this is going to be so high for you, because that was an uninteresting story. I can't even remember. I apologize. I totally forgot about that. And I just went down memory lane right there.
Hey, that's why I call this the sidelines, because anytime on the sidelines, you just talk. Sometimes you're just talking. That's how I came up with that name. It's stupid, but it works for me. So
It does.
See, now I forgot. I was going to say something. I forgot. It's fine. We're fine. So how did COVID affect things for you guys? I know every state was different. In Illinois, I only have to be around the kids for 2 weeks during the summer. It depended on the state, the school district. I accepted a new football job during COVID, which here I am.
Congrats.
Thanks. I became a run coordinator. It's just a fancy way of saying you're the offensive line coach. And I said, okay. Any run play we put in is up to me. As long as I get it approved, it's up to me. I'm trying to convince them for inside zone. They're not big on it. I'm pushing. We're a big power team, so I'm pushing inside zone. They're like, I'm like, no, it's okay. You got me now. We got it. It's okay. Yeah. So how did COVID affect all the things over there?
Well, I too this is my first year at this school. So I was at my old school. The head coach and I didn't see eye to eye. He wanted to go more ground and pound. And, I'm always like, be who you are. So I was like, that's fine. So I got this new job, and then COVID shut down. So I only saw my kids 2 weeks, because we didn't meet until June, the middle of June. We got a week. Then all of a sudden, the cases spiked. So they shut us down. So we were shut down for 3 weeks. And we came back in August. We had another week. We were finally able to put on helmets. We couldn't even throw the ball for those first 2 weeks. We had to fake throw and everything. So we were trying to just go over the formations and kind of hit the plays. It was a lot of Zoom clinics. But the good thing with the type of offense that we do, and y'all saw at Mississippi State, LSU, we just do the same thing over and over again. So I wasn't really that worried. And we're going through, when we finally got to throw the ball, I was able to introduce what we call it the perfect drill, settle up and noose. pat and go, routes on air, and we just do that every single day. Well, now the kids know it. I don't even have to say anything. Like, they know what to do. It's always the perfect drill for 2 minutes, then pat and go, then routes on air, quick game, routes on air, drop back, screens, 7-on-7, team, boom, we're done. So if I was putting in a different offense, like the wing tee or stuff like that, that was a little bit more intricate, or the pro style or things like that, I would be sweating bullets right now. But since I was able, luckily, to get everything in, and we're going like straight up old school. Some plays are only to the right, some plays are only to the left. It's actually helped. And it's given me an excuse to simplify even further, because now, if you say I want to simplify, everyone kind of looks at you like, what the hell are you talking about? But now you can go, hey, COVID, we don't have time to rep it on both sides, so we're just going to run it on this side. And like, okay, that's smart. So it makes me seem a little bit smarter, but I'm stealing from Hal Mummy and Mike Leach. So, steal from the best.
Well, like you and Coach Allball are the reason why I did a podcast or anything like that. You guys were having fun with it, and that's kind of where it came from. So that's why I call you guys the goats of doing that. You guys and Joe Daniels and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and getting you. I had Coach Kurt Hines on the other day. That was shooting my shot. You were on here now shooting my shots. Now the podcast is here. It's going to go up to here now. Hopefully,
yeah, man. Shoot your shot. It's already here. Don't. Now it's going to go into space. It's up in the air, above the clouds. Now it's going in the. I don't know. Was stratosphere? Is that it? Is that the technical term? You're gonna make me Google.
I'm from the cornfields. I don't know what that means. I don't understand what that.
The deep south. If I can spell my name, it's a win.
Well, that's why I'm Coach Steve. I won't go into my last name. We don't even worry about that. So how did you go from playing defense, coaching defense, and saying, I want to do offense? I've always wanted to be offense. Then a head coach made me do defense, and I hated it at first. I said, this is stupid. I hate this. But then now I understand defense so much better when I'm on offense. I'm like, this is why they do this. This is why they do this, blah, 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 blah. So did you always want to do offense when you got into coaching, or like, what was that switch like? Or was offense your calling? Like, you already knew that's what you wanted to do?
No, and here's what led me into why I like passing. There's a long-winded approach. In college, college being college, my roommate and I, we were huge 24 fans. Okay. So this was the time when Blockbuster, you were able to like get the ultimate passes before Netflix. You can pay a certain amount and you can just auto rent. So we did that, and we went through like a whole season. Well, we were having some adult beverages because I was of age at that time. And the season ended that we were watching, and both of us were too lazy to get up. So when we were like, okay, whatever this channel, whatever's coming on, when I turn off this PlayStation, this is what we're watching. And lo and behold, it was Mike Leach. It was Mike Leach in Texas. So I fell in love with the pass. And I've always been a defensive guy just because I was too slow to play offense. I played at the high school I was at. We had some dudes, and we won the state in my 11th grade year. We lost it in my 12th grade year. So I had some dudes that I wasn't better to beat out. But the teams that we played, they didn't run the wing tee or the flex bone. I had my best games as a linebacker against those teams. They ran the spread. That's when I started coming up. And I couldn't tell you, man. Sometimes I would drop back and they're running draw. Sometimes I would come up thinking I'm going to get a sack, and they throw a screen over my head. It was the worst offense I ever played because I hated it. And that was in the back of my mind. And like you said, when you're on defense, you kind of learn what hurts the defense. And I always wanted to throw the ball because there was just something I wanted. And then when the running back's position opened up, I went to my head coach and was like, hey, I know you're looking for a running back position. Could I be the coach? Because that was my way to get my foot in the door. And he was like, sure, whatever. So he threw me a bone, and I was able to do things like perfect the inside zone like you. So I was on the running back. I was like, okay, well, I need to know everything we do. So I dove into inside zone because we ran that a lot, and I learned, what the aiming point is, what they're looking for. I dove into GT counter because we ran that a lot. So, the aiming point, what you should do, and all that stuff. And that led me further down the rabbit hole of just offense. So I dove into the end zone. Noel Mazzoni, huge fan of him. I've had him on a couple of times, and I'm always trying not to fanboy out. Tony Franklin. But their offense, if you get into it, it starts simple, but they give you everything else that you can. So, that small playbook starts to get bigger and bigger. Whereas the air raid, every time you look at it, is just so simple. And something just called to me. So when I was able to do it, I got on there. And I was like, you know what? I just want to pass. Because in high school, I think coaches are afraid to give kids the ability to throw. They're like, I'm not going to put my job in the hands of 14, 15, 16-year-olds to make that decision. Yet we do it in the classroom because we're all graded on standardized tests. So you coach them up, and then, you give them the test, and whatever happens, happens. I'm the same way on the football field. I'm like, well, if we do it in the classroom, we should be able to do it on the football field. And I don't know if
Right.
that answers your question or not, but
Oh no, it's perfect. I mean, and then if you want to pass it, you just coach them up and figure it out. Like
that's it.
after that, I mean, it's the same thing as running the ball. You got to perfect the blocking scheme. Something's going to
Yes.
happen. Like, these coaches are talking to me about the run game, and they'll draw some. It's the whiteboard talk. You can draw something. Well, what if you see this? And I said, well, you do this and this. Like, there's always something, but you
Yeah.
coach it
And
up and get it out
you
there.
give them the tags. You give them the ability to make tags based on, the fronts that they're given and things like that happens. So I don't see why doing that to the quarterback is any different.
Right. No, it's funny. My high school, we ran, I guess you call it the flex bone. I tell people, picture the Maryland eye, the old school Maryland eye. You have your quarterback, halfback, or fullback, halfback, tailback. Halfback was to the right or to the left, and that was like our formation. And so that's all I knew was option and run the ball. I was going to coach. I was going to do that. And that spread was the forbidden fruit you weren't supposed to grab or anything like that. If we were in a spread, it was just to run the ball. It was just like, well, let's do this real quick.
Gotcha.
And then I watched Oregon's, Florida's when I was in high school. Then that Mike Leach game versus Texas. I said, that's it. I got to learn the spread. I've got to learn this. And when you look at the spread, it's very complicated. Then you saw the air raid passing concepts. I'm like, this is easy. This is so simple. I love it. Every school I've been at now, I've tried to bring it a little bit. I'm like, hey, why don't we do this?
Yep.
And they're like, no. Then they'll come back. Well, okay, and we'll do it. So how in the world did you come up with your YouTube channel? And like you got the YouTube channel, you got your website, you're on Twitch now. How does this just kind of happen? How'd you start it? And did you think it was going to be as big as it is now? Thousands upon thousands of people watching it.
No, not at all. It happened when I had my little girl. When we had her, I just started being an offensive coordinator. So I had that going on and being a new dad. And my wife, I love her to death. She got me a GoPro because I use the GoPro. That's my bootleg virtual reality. I put it on the quarterback and I can see where he's looking. Well, it was my turn to put Arya down, my little girl. Huge Game of Thrones fan. You don't get me started on season 8. And I wasn't tired after she went down. So I was like, you know what? I'm really not tired. I just want to put something up there. We were running a version of one back power RPO. I was like, I think other coaches will like that. YOLO. So I just put it on there. I got the whiteboard, put it in my lap. And I drew it up. It looked like the cam from freaking Cloverfield. I was all over the place and everything like that. And I uploaded it. And it kind of took off. So I was like, oh, there's other coaches watching this. This is cool. So I just started doing another one. I started out doing 2x2, one back power. And I was like, well, we got 3x1. So I did that, uploaded it. It took off. I was like, oh, dang, what else did we do? Oh, and then it just started going down there. And I didn't expect anything to do it. This was now my hobby. Like I enjoyed it. I was able to talk to other coaches. My first head coach, I'm not head coaching. My first head coach that I coached under, he was a dick. Can't stand him. I no love lost, whatever happens. And because he was a big bully. And I remember one game when I was on offense, we were playing a team. We were down by like 4 scores. So they were like, okay, let's go empty and just throw the ball. And we got back and we lost by 1. So that Sunday in the meeting, I was like, why don't we do that all game? Because it worked. We got an athletic quarterback. He can throw. We got some guys. And they laughed at me. And my head coach said I would never do anything. Just be grateful that you're on offense. And that really pissed me off. So I was like, okay, if I don't know everything. But whatever I learn, I'm going to share because I don't know if anyone else is. I'm not unique. Someone else is probably going through that same situation. I want them to know, hey, you're not alone. There's a lot more people out there that work for dick bosses than you imagine. And I guess that struck a chord because a lot of coaches started watching. I started seeing how could I perfect my new hobby. And one thing led to another, led to the podcast, led to the website and all that stuff. And now I'm here on the greatest podcast on the internet with you, man. So I appreciate it.
Oh man, I told you not to lie on the show, and now we're here.
Never,
Uh,
never. My nose isn't getting big.
no, I had same situation. That's a different time. I worked for somebody like that. Our playbook was I was handcuffed, offensive
Yeah.
coordinator. He looked at me one day and said, "I want 50 formations. Literally, sit down and draw up 50 formations." Okay, and then he wants outside zone, inside zone, power, counter, GT counter, trap, and then 20 passing concepts. And I was like, okay, how do you want me to single all that in? Because we were no huddle. Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I do this. And I was like,
So you look like a baseball player, a
I,
baseball coach out there?
and Dino Babers, this is at Eastern Illinois, like the high school right down the street. And Dino Babers had just left. So on the rage was the Baylor offense.
Yeah.
Jimmy G was there, Babers was there. Snapped the ball in 12 seconds. And I said, it's going to take me 12 seconds to signal in the play, let alone snapping the ball. Let's just say I ran my course and I left. I was like, yep. And I haven't called plays since, but every team I've been on, we've done something good. The team I was on was 10-1. They made the playoffs for the first time since 1999. The next team, we were 4-5. That was the best record since 2000.
Nice.
So they think I'm this luck charm. I said, if I don't call plays, I think it's okay, as long as I just coach. No, I love your stuff because it speaks to me. I'm stupid simple, so your simpleness it speaks to me, and I'm like, I understand it. Some of your stuff that you put on there, I've never understood it. Then I'll watch it, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Where did my thing go? Oh, here we go. So, feeding off that, what advice would you give to people? Because, like, I'm trying to build relationships with coaches and get out there and do this and that. So, what advice would you give somebody that wants to do that stuff?
You mean like YouTube and stuff like that?
Yeah, sorry, YouTube or podcasting or whatever, or maybe Madden stuff because you beat me one time and it still hurts me to this day. I was the Bears. That's my excuse.
Yeah, I totally understand. Just really, it's don't expect anything from it. Like if I went in thinking, okay, I'm gonna, humble brag. I got 220,000 subscribers, just past that mark. I didn't go in thinking I was going to do that. I didn't go in thinking that I was going to have my own website and stuff like that. It just kind of happened. If what you do, let's say, do you like YouTube or do you like podcasts better?
For me, I like this podcast thing, but I'm also dabbling in the YouTube thing. So
Okay,
I'm looking at both.
That's fine. But if it's podcasting, which you want to go all in, man. What can I do to get this better? And every show, this is what I did with my channel. I tried to get it 1% better. Every time I did something, 1% better. Also, shoot your shot, man. Like seriously, what's the worst they're gonna say? No? Okay. That's how I got Noel Mazzoni, Kurt Warner, and all those guys. I was just like, hey, shoot your shot. And again, don't be afraid to get no and just have fun. Really, I look at it as a hobby. Like it's a fun hobby that I get taught to great coaches like you and to everybody else. I've built some amazing connections, and it's all about giving. Just give, and it'll come back. As woo-woo as that sounds, I really believe if you just give, something's going to come back to you. And if not, that's fine. You're helping other people out.
Yeah, I look at this as if this is like a hobby. Like I schedule it, but it's a hobby. I like doing it. It's free therapy, I think. I don't have to
Yeah.
I'm not in debt over it. I have, whatever. I'm not spending money. So I don't know why I was podcasting. And then I was like, well, let me do the YouTube. So I'm doing both. I try to do both. And I'm trying to reach out to people for advice on how to do it too. Like I'm not tech savvy. I'm trying to figure all that out. It's slowly getting there. It's
and that's the thing. A lot of people think that when you're the circle around of football, it's the same thing with my kids. Everyone expects to do something new and to be perfect at it. And that's not how it is. The first step of getting good at something is to suck. Mm-hmm. Because once you suck, you're like, okay, how can I get better? And then the next one is like, okay, I know what you start going, okay, I know what to do, but I'm not there yet. And you just keep getting better and just enjoy the process. That's really it. If you enjoy the process, you're going to get better. You can't not get better if you enjoy the process. If you don't, like for me, I enjoy getting live now. I'm doing a lot more lives on Facebook. I enjoy doing that because I like the interaction. For you, you're crushing on the podcast, so enjoy it. Like, what's something I could do to make it better?
Yeah, I almost get in trouble watching your Facebook stuff. As long as administration doesn't walk by, I'm like, yep, I'm watching this.
Well, I'm in the middle of it's like my planning period. I'm like, you know what? I think I can pop one off for 6 minutes and hopefully they won't come.
Well, I'm in a Zoom class. I have to go in the building. I have no choice. So I'm in a classroom. I have the Zoom up. You can always probably tell my phone's right here. I'm probably like looking over, and I have to have my camera. I can't turn it off. It has to be on. Kids have a choice. They can have it off. I have to have mine on. Uh,
Yeah.
that's what
It's what it
it's.
is, man. It's crazy. The old school I was at, if I saw a phone from a kid, I had to take it. I took it and just put it in a box, and at the end of the class, I gave it back because I didn't want to turn it into the administration, and then the kids yell at it. It's like I don't care. But here, the kids can be on their phone. It's such an adjustment to me because they're just sitting here like this, and I'm like, dude, put your phone up, and then they go, oh, I'm doing your assignment. I'm like, oh my goodness, you're doing it on the phone? Like, yeah, it's a lot easier because the app that we're on, we're online, but we're hybrid,
Mhm.
but they're all doing the same like type of program. And the program that we're doing is both web-based and has an app, and the app is actually better than the web-based. So everyone's on their phone doing it. And I'm like, okay, just don't bother me. I'm doing football right now.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
COVID, phone for school, and this and that. I don't know. So I just have like just a couple more and we're done. I'll get you out
That's
of
fine.
here.
That's fine.
So, how do you handle all the fame? How do you handle being Coach Ron Mckie?
No. Uh, there. I promise you, it's no one's stopping me on the street and doing anything. Uh, I'll look at it as if people just reach out. It's like it's awesome that people are reaching out. How can I help them? And if I can give some advice or anything like that, I'm like, okay. And it's kind of surreal because I'm like, who the hell am I? Like but hey, I wouldn't say I have fans. That kind of I have friends.
Yeah, friends. Yeah. Well, you grind it. I don't like the word grinding, but sometimes it's the best way. Like you worked hard at this, and now it's up here. So now you're that person. You reached out to people. Now you're that guy. So I think that's really awesome that it turns into that. Because like this podcast thing, me and my best friend growing up, we wanted to do the Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Talk back and forth. Like we might be better at it. We won't be such airheads about it, but
Yeah.
and we talked about. I saw him Saturday, and he goes, "Hey," or last weekend, he goes, "Hey, on Sundays, let's do a college football recap. Let's try to figure this out and start doing that." So
Yeah,
that's
man.
where it's going. And I'm like, okay, that's what we've always wanted to do. I don't care if two people watch it. If we have
That's
fun,
it.
I don't care.
That's it.
Because we do it anyway. We'll text or talk on the phone and talk shit to each other, like, hey, LeBron James this or Kobe Bryant that. Like, that's what it was. Um, so I kind of want to do that and the football thing. So who knows? Who
Yeah,
knows?
you can. That's the great thing about the internet, man. And don't sell yourself short. There will be people that want to listen to that, and you'll grow your fan base. I promise.
So how do you handle the old school wing T coaches talking shit on Twitter? I've had some coaches on here, and they're good guys. They love their wing T stuff, their pistol wing Ts, and I like it. You look at the pistol wing T stuff, I think it looks great. I love offense. I can watch Army play. I can watch anybody play. Pro style kind of makes me mad because it's all over the place.
Yeah.
I'll watch NFL, but it's like I just can't stand the pro style. I even coached in it, and I'm like, well, I could do this in spread. Why don't you stay in spread the whole time? Well, you got to go under center. And so, how do you handle wing T coaches doing that? I guess is the best question. How do you handle guys talking shit about it? And like, why do people hate air raid? Why do they hate the spread? Like, you can run the ball in spread. I don't understand why you can't.
I
I don't
agree.
understand it.
I do this and this almost got me in trouble one time in the classroom. I look at it as it's trolling / cyberbullying. And for the life of me, I don't understand it on the internet because they have this magical button called the block button. And the moment people start like firing shots, I'm just like, I don't even know you, dude. So block, and I block them. And I, I don't know. I think I have a little bit more love for flexbone coaches because to me, the air raid and the flexbone are the same. One just pitches the ball backwards. The other one pitches it forward. The wing T coaches, I think, get a little anal about it because they're not giving their kids freedom. And a lot of kids want freedom. Like you go to any team and before practice, what are they doing? They're not lining up in lines and doing a handoff drill. they're running around, throwing the ball and stuff like that. And I, I think subconsciously they know they want to throw the ball because if you talk to a lot of them and long enough, they're going to be like, yeah, our best play is the waggle
Hmm.
or is some form of play action. And they start talking about it and everyone likes throwing the ball. It's just, do you have, for lack of a better word, the balls to actually do it and give your kids the ability to make the decision? Because at the end of the day, if you're throwing a lot of interceptions and stuff like that, it's one of two things. It's one is you're not coaching it the right way, or two, you're just giving your kid way too much stuff and making him like pro style. Okay, if it's too high, you're doing this, this, this. If they spin down to one high, then you're going to do this, this, this. And there's a way to simplify it. And two, and the last thing is, if you look at a lot of the wing tees, I know a lot of coaches sell a lot of things now, which don't get me on that soapbox because I mean, to me, there's always been coaching products. It's just been hoarded by championship productions or coach's choice and things like that. Things that really gouge the coaches that have produced that stuff. I don't know if you know this, but championship productions, let's say I'm like, hey Steve, I want you to make me a 4 DVD set on, the inside zone. You just go all balls out. You can do whatever you want, man. Just make it. Then you make it, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and then they go, great. I'm going to sell it at this price. You can't tell me what to sell it for. And I'm only going to give you 10% of the sales. Now I own everything. And I just think that's wrong. And now coaches are like, you got to coach too and things like that. I sell some stuff as well for other coaches. And we give the coaches that do the work most of the money because they did it. And I think the wing tee guys, they see that and they see how a lot of now it's kind of opening up because it's a lot of guys that pass the ball. So you get things from like Patrick and Drew and stuff like that. And guys are having success throwing it. And they're like, oh my God, this really is as easy as they said it is.
Hmm.
And wing tee coaches that like to bitch a lot, they're like, oh crap. Now they're kind of learning how to pass the ball. Why do they need to run the ball? So you see them now, they're adding in air raid type principles and things like that. And it's kind of like the trolling. I'm going to poke so that when we get in an argument, now they're going to click on my profile. Now they're going to see my stuff. Now I'm kind of relevant. And I see a lot of coaches fall for it. And it's just like, from a distance, two people yelling, they both look like idiots. So if someone's going to shoot shots on you on social media, just block. I don't even treat social media like social media. I treat it like business media. Like these are the people I want to learn from. I'm going to follow them. I'm going to learn something from them. If someone posts something that I don't like, I know I'm creating my own bubble, echo chamber. That's fine. I'm not the only one. I'm going to block it. I'm not going to get any financial advice from people from Twitter, political advice from just a random person from Twitter. No, I'm just going to block them. And that makes things very simple.
Yeah, I just love offense, so I watch anything. So I never understood it. Like, if a coach,
I will sit down and watch Army just run the flex bone for 99 yards. And I'm like, damn, that was great play calling. Like as
Mhm.
long as you're scoring, I will watch you. I don't care.
Right. And like on another coach's podcast they had me on, they said, "Why the spread?" And I said, "Well, I feel like you could do anything. So like if we have kids come in one year and we have the kids to run the ball, well, I'm going to have a hand down tight end instead or an H back, and I can run the ball. I can still pass it, but I'm still going to run the ball. I feel like you could go backwards to the run instead of being a wing T and trying to spread it back out. You go to the wing T coach, they spread it out there, and I look at you like, see, speaking Spanish, like what's he talking about? Spread, if you say bring a hand down tight end and H back and just run the ball, but you still have corner or stick on the other side. It's like, okay, I understand it. I don't. It's
Yeah, I
so
think it's
simple.
easier to pass to run to set up
Mhm.
the run than it is to run to set up the pass. That's just me.
No, I agree. I agree, but I'm also not an idiot. Like if we have kids that run the ball, we're going to run the ball a little more. If we can, the kid that can just sling it, we're going to sling it. So when you go into a game, are you Mike Leach? We're going to pass the ball every freaking time, or are you saying, okay, I'm going to run the ball this time, or do you call the pass plays and the quarterback says, I'm going to run the ball?
I have okay, so at my previous stop, I wanted to, but the head coach was in my ear and was like, run it, run it, run it. Even when we had like a 7-man box and we had discussions on that. Like You can't mathematically. And that's a part of my logical brain. I'm like, we can't. We've got 5 or 6 if you count the quarterback. They've got 7. Mathematically, they outnumber us. Here though, my head coach, man, he just goes score. I don't care how, score. So I'm going in there like I'm going to throw the ball a lot. If you got 6 in the box, I'm going to throw it. I think we can do that. Sometimes I'll give my quarterback like a check where he can check it at the line to whatever the best run is and the best thing. And that's brand new this year. I haven't done it, but talking to a bunch of other coaches that do it, it just something this year. I decided this year I'm just getting weird. Like everything I've wanted to do but didn't have the balls to, it's like I have an excuse now because I don't know when we're going to get shut down for quarantine or something like that. Like we already have one team that's missing 3 weeks. We don't know how that's going to play out for the playoffs and everything. So it's like if you need an excuse to get weird, this is the perfect time. And I decided I'm going to open it up to my quarterback because they're out there on the field to make it. And so he's making some good decisions and stuff like that. And sometimes I have a former head coach that's a wide receiver coach now up on the box. And he's like, hey, coach, man, they really got 3 people in the box. We might want to run it. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. But if I can, man, I'm slinging it. There's just something about the pass that I love. So that's me.
Yeah, I'm torn down the middle. I love passing the ball. I love spread, but I was an offensive lineman, so there's something about I don't care if it's inside zone running the ball sometimes. Like, oh, I love it. You got 5 yards on the run play. I love it. And so that's why I like being the running game coordinator. But at the same time, I could tell them, hey, you can still pass the ball. Like, don't worry, it's okay. But if I see like 5 or 6 men in the box, hey, we could do this. Like,
Yeah.
It's fine. So how far is Mississippi State going to go this year? I loved it. I loved it.
Yes. Dude, I'm gonna run around my neighborhood butt naked if he beats Nick Saban. Like I don't care. I'll spend a night in jail, and I will get thrown in the papers, and I will smile as I'm getting my mugshot. But I am excited. I think the Atlantic had a great article why this pandemic actually works for the air raid because other teams have such extensive playbooks, and Leach gets his in like 4 days because it's the 3-day. I didn't know this until Drew told me. It's 3 normal days, but one of those days before you even get to the 3 install days is just straight up 6 and teaching the tags because that builds on everything else. And I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get a chance to do that this year because I was planning on doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's COVID year, so I told the coach we play in February or first game's in March. Anything you ever wanted? He's a first-year head coach, so I was like, anything you ever wanted to do, we can do it now.
Yeah,
like
get weird, man. Get weird. Whatever it is you wanted. If you want to run the run and shoot, run the run and shoot. If you want to install, like I have a buddy, I have a membership, like a high-level membership. Well, I got like 30 other coaches in there, and we meet twice a week. It's called the Touchdown Lab. And I told him, I was like, hey, if y'all want to get weird, this is when you should get weird. And a guy, one of the coaches, Jacob Morris, he loves Baylor. Like, I love Baylor's offense when Art Brown was there. This man, like, loves it. He scours the internet more than me. And he got in touch with a couple of guys, and he figured out the secret sauce. So he went, you know what, I'm going to run Baylor stuff. And, dude, we watch film twice a month. We meet up, and we watch film together, and what can we work and what can we not. And he showed his film. He scored 50 points. That was the first game he won in his conference at that school since 2008. And they won 50-30. And he's running the legit stuff. Like, one side of the field is running the option routes. The other side just takes 2 steps and just looks. Mm-hmm. And they're going, hurry up, and things like that. So I'm with you, man. Tell your head coach whatever it is he wants to do it. Because like you said, you got time now.
Right. It's funny, when Dino Babers was at Eastern, I helped spring ball. So I was around them with Jimmy G and Dino Babers. So I got to see he brought that Baylor stuff with him.
Yes.
So I got to see it a little bit. Funny story. It's funny to me. It's not funny to everybody else. In Illinois, it was like 55 degrees, 60 degrees in the spring. So we're in like long sleeve shirts or shorts. We're fine. Babers comes out and like this parka, a hoodie, a parka over it, a hat on, gloves, sweatpants. He's wobbling around like fat man in a little coat, like walking out there. What are you doing? He goes, I coach in Texas, Hawaii. This is ridiculous. Like this, and that. And he has a stopwatch because they have to go fast. If they don't, I've never seen a guy throw a fit They snapped the ball in like 13 seconds, 2 times in a row, and he threw the biggest fit I've ever seen. He couldn't hit the button because his gloves are so thick. He was trying to, and I'm sitting at practice, and I'm laughing. I'm like, that's funny to me. And then now seeing him in Syracuse, which is even colder than
Yeah,
Illinois,
I know.
like
I
now
know.
you're there. Uh,
But he's got a dome. I'm sure that's why he went.
I'm sure. So we'll slowly get you out of here. What's your favorite Marvel movie?
Oh, great question. Okay, is the Avengers a part of it, or does it have to be a standalone?
It could be any of them. Any, I
Okay.
don't. I don't care.
I'm gonna have to I'm cheating, but I have to lump all of Captain America's movies. The first one, Civil War. The second one, dude, I have to say the second one. Second and Civil War. There's just something about Captain America that just gets me excited. I love it. Anytime that second one is on, my wife and I just stop and watch it. I think I have a thing for Chris Evans. I think he's amazing as like I don't think they could I know Robert Downey Jr. is like Iron Man, but to me, the perfect hire was Chris Evans as Captain America. Like I don't know how this Bucky and Falcon is going to go on Disney Plus because it's like I need Captain America, man.
I think he was the perfect hire, and I think Cumberbatch was the perfect hire for Doctor Strange. I don't know why I'm a Cumberbatch fanboy.
Oh
And
yeah, Sherlock, man.
yeah,
Sherlock.
they're talking about making another season for that. And I keep
They
waiting
need
to
to.
see.
Dude, have you seen Luther?
No.
You need to watch Luther. It's Idris, the big old black dude that was in The Wire, was
Uh-huh.
Stringer Bell in The Wire. He's a cop in Luther.
Okay.
It is really good. Like it gets kind of weird season 4, season 5, but the first 3 seasons it's a British show, so there's only like 6-hour-long episodes. It is really, really good. I recommend that to anyone that likes Sherlock.
We started watching Lucifer on Netflix. It's pretty good. Um,
I am watching The Boys.
we need to
Have,
watch. That's the
have
next
you
one.
seen that?
No, that's on our list.
Oh my God, dude! So this is my Friday. The school I'm at now is an hour and a half away, so I'm driving, so I have to leave my house like at 5:45. The kids don't get there till 9. Teachers have to be there at 7:30, so I pull up about 7:15 on Fridays. I pull up with a Hardee's. I got to get my biscuit and gravy and biscuit. Go to my desk. I sit down, prop my phone up. I'm watching The Boys. I put a sign out on my door that says, "In a virtual meeting, please don't bother." And I'm watching The Boys on my data because you can't watch it. It's not appropriate on school internet, but your own phone internet. Dude, the last episode, man. I was a show's good when you're watching, you go, "Oh my God, what in the world?" And now they're releasing it once a week. So it sucks because I like to binge watch.
Yeah, I've said this to somebody before. I'm a big Walking Dead fan. I know people say it's gone on too long,
I
but it's
stopped
good.
watching it, man. I stopped.
Well, here's what I say. Season 7 and 8 kind of ruined it. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's fantastic. He is my favorite character, but the storyline sucks in 7 and 8. It's only a 2-week span, but it stretches for those 2 seasons. Season 9 and 10 have been the top back to season 3 and 4. They're so good. The season finale got cut short because of COVID. It's coming tomorrow. They're going to release it tomorrow. It's going to end next season. They're going to have one more season. But
Are
I
they
love
doing a
it.
spinoff?
Yeah, they got a couple. They're supposed to do movies, uh, and then they have a spinoff, and then there's another spinoff. But they all are in the same thing. They're all supposed to come together at some point. Like
Okay.
but I love it. See, we got off topic. It's okay. Um, I love my Marvel movie. I said Endgame was the best one when I first saw it, but I think I got caught up in the story. I was like, I have to go with Endgame just because, or Infinity War. I love Infinity War, but I love Doctor Strange. I don't know why I love that one.
Really?
It's one. Yeah, I first watched Doctor Strange and I was like, it's okay, but now I can just turn on and watch it any day. I don't know why.
All right, let me flip it on you. What was the weakest one?
I hated Iron Man 2. I didn't really like it. And I hated the original Hulk. I did not like that one.
With Eric Bana?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Or, I hated that one. There was another one I didn't like. I can't remember. Those are some of my weakest.
I would say, and I can't watch it now because it's super sad, but I like Black Panther, but I didn't like it when it came in the phase. Like I felt like that movie should have been phase one, where they introduced all the other
Mhm.
characters. Because when I was watching, I was like, okay, where are the other? Because at that time we got spoiled. We had, there's multiple characters in each movie. Iron Man had Captain America and stuff like that. Captain America had Black Widow and stuff like that, and it was just Black Panther and no one else. And
Mhm.
that led right into Infinity War. So I was anticipating more people in Wakanda, but that to me, and I'm gonna be honest, man, I only saw Doctor Strange once. It didn't resonate with me, which is totally fine. It's just that movie. I was just like, I'm gonna watch it just to watch it, but I haven't gone back to it.
Well, my best friend said it was his favorite movie, so when I watched it, I went into it like, "Oh, this is gonna be awesome," and that was my problem. And I was like, "It's okay." And then I rewatched it again, rewatched it again. And I'm like, I think it's just Benedict Cumberbatch I can watch. I'm like, okay. Um,
I
you
tell you
said,
what, if I was on acid on that movie would freak me out, man.
well, that's why I'm afraid of the new one they're gonna make. I don't know what that's gonna look
Multiverse, yeah,
like.
I can't wait. WandaVision's coming out too, man, in December.
Yeah, and then it's supposed to feed into that Doctor Strange movie. I'm curious what that's gonna look like. And then I think an underrated two was Ant-Man. I love the Ant-Man movies.
Yes, Paul. I'm a huge Paul Rudd fan.
People hated Ant-Man, and I said this is an underrated movie.
Yeah,
It's funny. It's perfect for him.
lighthearted. Yeah,
Yeah, and they're like, no, it's one of the worst. And I was like, he brought the comedy part to it. Like it's Paul Rudd.
yeah.
He looks like he's 25. Like he
He
brought
hasn't
that
aged at
into it.
all. He's a freaking vampire.
Well, Coach, that's all I had. I wanted to end it on something non-football. It's fun to do that.
I
Um,
appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
no, this was me shooting my shot. I don't think it can go any better than this. I got you, and I had Coach Kurt Hines on the other day. I'm done. I think I'm done now. Like
No,
we
no,
could.
only the beginning, dude. Only the beginning.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on, spending your time doing this. I know you got a family to get back to. I haven't gotten new Madden yet, so we got to play Madden.
Okay.
I'm not being the Bears, guys. Quick story. I was going to play coach. I was not going to be the Bears. He called me out for living in Illinois, not being the Bears. So I picked the Bears. Trubisky sucked. I blame it all. It's not the controller guy.
It's
It's the
not.
game.
It's not.
It's not.
Yes, it's the quarterback. I completely agree. I completely agree.
Well, to the 6 listeners I have out there, go check out Coach. Go check out his YouTube and everything. It's great
Yeah.
stuff.
Hey, real quick, if you want some drills that you can use every day, just go to mustrundrills.com. It's a website. It's a page. It's got like 5 or 6 drills, videos, all that stuff. So for your 600 listeners, you can go there, man.
Might be 600 total listens at some point out of 30 episodes, but
6,000, man.
we'll get there one day, maybe one day. So guys, go check that out. Go check out his other stuff. So everybody out there, stay safe, wash your hands, wear your mask. We got to get out of this sometime. And I'll see you guys next time.